Fantastic. So let's go through and let's have a quick look at some of the facility that we have if we are choosing that retail super setup and how we want to go ahead and structure our policy. So we learned about the different types of cover earlier. And what you can see here in this particular slide is I have a life insurance policy here, for example, being owned in my self-managed super fund in policy number 1. And you can see over here in policy number 2, I have, for example, put own occupation TPD cover in my personal name. We've got trauma insurance here as well, sitting in my personal name. And then we also have the child cover here sitting in my personal name. So in this particular setup, it's called Superlinking. And how this effectively works is that, let's say, for example, I have $1 million worth of life insurance over here, $750,000 worth of total and permanent disablement cover here, and $100,000 worth of trauma cover. What ultimately happens is that they're all combined into one benefit. Okay, so the max that the policy is going to pay me is $1 million in this particular example. So let's say, for example, I had a $100,000 payout on my trauma cover. That would then reduce my TPD cover down to $650,000, and it would reduce my life cover down to $900,000. Okay, so ultimately these policies are related, and they're typically known as a link policy if it's outside of super. But because we've got part of that policy inside super and part of it outside of super, still as a bundled policy, it's called Superlinking. Now, this particular structure is going to be a lot more affordable for you versus standalone policies. Okay, so you could go ahead and set this up as a standalone structure where we wouldn't have this link in the middle, this chain in the middle here. And then what would happen is that if I was to have a claim on one standalone policy, it would not impact another standalone policy. Okay, so just be mindful that that kind of structure is definitely possible. However, it is going to be a lot more expensive, typically speaking, than a bundled or a combined policy. So it's totally your choice on how you want to set this up, but the structure is a very common structure for affordability. So you can ultimately get yourself broader coverage for less money, and it's quite an option that a lot of people will consider versus standalone policies.